Hi students, observe this particular question. A and B are two events such that P of A given 3 by 4, P of B given 5 by 8. Then he is asking which of the following options are correct. First of all, you know this information. A is always a subset of A union B. At the same time, B also a subset of A union B. So from this we can say P of A is always less than or equals to P of A union B. At the same time, P of B is also less than or equals to P of A union B. So P of A value given as a 3 by 4, 3 by 4 less than or equals to P of A union B. In a similar way, I can say 5 by 8 is also less than or equals to P of A union B. Now from these two inequalities, we can say that P of A union B value is greater than or equals to 3 by 4. So that is the information we got. So from this we can say the first option is correct. Next you can observe here, we know that A is A intersection B is a subset of A. At the same time, A intersection B is also a subset of B. So that's why I can say P of A intersection B is less than or equals to P of A, and P of A intersection B is less than or equals to P of B also. But P of A and P of B values given, from that I can say P of A intersection B less than or equals to 3 by 4, and P of A intersection B less than or equals to 5 by 8. So from these two we can write P of A intersection B, P of A intersection B less than or equals to 5 by 8. P of A intersection B we got less than or equals to 5 by 8. So we got the upper bound for this. At the same time here the lower bound, that is minimum value, is also given. So that's why we are doing the another way. We know that P of A union B is always greater than or equals to 3 by 4, and P of A union B value no doubt less than or equals to 1. So I can write 3 by 4 less than or equals to P of A union B formula, you know, P of A, that is 3 by 4, plus P of B, that is 5 by 8, minus P of A intersection B is less than or equals to 1. So from this we can say 3 by 8, this complete simplification, 3 by 8 less than or equals to P of A intersection B is less than or equals to 5 by 8 you will get. So that's why we can say the third option is also correct. At the same time, next one is asking about P of A bar intersection B. So P of A bar intersection B means, I hope so you know, P of B minus P of A intersection B, right? So we got the information earlier. So minus 5 by 8 is less than or equals to minus P of A intersection B is less than or equals to minus 3 by 8. That is the information we got. This is the information. Here if you multiply with minus, you will get the same or not. Now what I am doing is, throughout the inequality I am adding P of B. That's why it becomes 0, because P of B is equal to 5 by 8 is less than or equals to P of B minus P of A intersection B is less than or equals to, we are adding P of B. P of B value is 5 by 8. So 5 by 8 minus 3 by 8, that is equals to 2 by 8. So we are getting P of B minus P of A intersection B, right? So that is less than or equals to 1 by 4, which is nothing but P of A intersection a bar intersection b less than or equals to 1 by 4 greater than or equals to 0. So you can see here 4 letters are placed in 4 addressed envelopes at random. The probability that exactly 2 letters will go to the wrong address. Total out of, this is the dearrangement principle, out of n letters exactly r letters will go to the wrong address. Out of n letters exactly r letters will go to the wrong address is 1 minus 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial minus 1 by 3 factorial plus and so on up to r factorial we have to write. So that is, suppose out of 5 letters exactly 4 letters will go to the wrong address, means what we can write, 5p4 into 1 minus 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial minus 1 by 3 factorial plus 1 by 4 factorial. So this is the dearrangement principle. Out of 4 letters exactly 4 letters will go to the wrong address, means this one. Now in this particular question what he is asking, all exactly 2 letters will go to the wrong address. First of all, 4 letters can be arranged in 4 envelopes in 4 factorial ways. Out of 4 letters exactly 2 letters will go to the wrong address. That's why 4p2 into 1 minus 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial. So that simplification you will get the answer. Observe this particular question. H is one of the 6 horses entered for a race and is to be ridden by one of the 2 jockeys A and B. It is 2 to 1 that A rides H. Odds given. So what about odds in favor of an event? As we discussed earlier also, odds in favor of an event. Odds in favor of an event, E is equals to P of E divided by P of E bar. At the same time that we can also write it as P of E divided by 1 minus P of E. Similarly, odds against an event is equals to P of E bar divided by P of E. I hope so you know this information. Now probability that the horse is ridden by A is equals to 2 by 3. Probability the horse is ridden by B is equals to 1 by 3. Probability the horse wins the race when it is ridden by A is equal to 1 by 6, because he is saying in which case all the horses are likely to win. Probability the horse H wins the race under the condition when it is ridden by B is equals to, he is saying chances are trebled. That's why his chance of winning becomes 3 by 6. He is asking odds against H winning. First of all, I will find out the probability that H wins the race. So A is ridden, its winning chance 1 by 6. B is riding the horse, its winning chance is 3 by 6. So we are getting the answer as 5 by 18 is the probability that H wins the race. But he is asking odds against H. Odds against H means we have to find out P of H bar divided by P of H. So P of H bar is nothing but 1 minus 5 by 18 divided by 5 by 18. So that is nothing but 13 by 5. So the third option is correct. Observe this particular question. The probability that in a year 22nd century chosen at random there will be 53 Sundays. So 1 by 4 is the probability that you are choosing a leap year. Out of 25 years, out of 100 years, 25 years are leap years. So choosing leap year is 1 by 4. Getting 53 Sundays is equals to 2 by 7. Next, from the remaining 75 years or non-leap years, that's why 75 by 100 is 3 by 4. Choosing a non-leap year is 3 by 4, and probability of getting 53 Sundays is equals to 1 by 7. So we are getting the answer as 5 by 28 for this particular question number 94. Hi students, observe this particular question. A bag contains 6 red balls and 4 black balls. Yes, this is the bag contains 6 red balls and 4 black balls. Second bag contains 4 red and 6 black balls. Yes, this is the second bag contains 4 red and 6 black balls. This is the second bag contains, this is bag B. Bag B, it contains 4 red balls and 6 black balls. So what he is saying in the question, from this bag a ball is transferred. From this bag a ball is transferred. That may be a red in color, that may be a black in color. If it is red ball, one red ball will increase here. If it is black ball, one black ball will increase here. Now what we are doing, from this bag again we are transferring the ball to the first bag. But these are all the first bags only. These are all the first bags only, because first you see red ball transferred, that's why here 5 red balls only, here 5 red balls only. Here black ball transferred, that's why here black ball transfer, that's why 3 black balls and 3 black balls. Now from this bag B you may transfer red ball or you may transfer a black ball. You may transfer a red ball, you may transfer a black ball. If red ball transferred, one red ball increases. If black ball transferred, one black ball increases. Now finally from this bag we have to draw red only, right? First of all, drawing a red ball is equal to 6 by 10 into, from here also we are drawing a red ball, that is equals to 5 by 11. But from here we have to get a red ball out. What is the probability of drawing a red ball from this bag? 6 by 10. That is the first case. So what is the meaning? Here red, next also red, next also we got red. That is the first case. Next what we are doing is red ball transferred, 6 by 10. Next black ball transferred, black ball transferring probability is 6 by 11. Next from this we have to get a red ball. From this bag we have to get a red ball, that is nothing but 5 by 10, right? So what we did here, first red, next black, but from we have to draw red. That is second case. Next third case, see black ball transferred, black ball transferring from first bag is equal to 4 by 10. Again red ball has to transfer, red ball transferred from this bag is equal to 4 by 11. Again from this bag we have to draw red ball only, that is equals to 7 divided by 10 plus next black ball, red ball. Here what we did, first black, next red, next we got red. Now what to do, black ball transferring probability is 4 by 10. Again from here also black ball transferred, that is 7 by 11. But from this we have to get red ball only, that is equal to 6 by 10. So here black, finally we got red. In every case finally we got red. In every case finally we got red only. So this total sum is the answer for that particular question. You will get the answer, I think 32 by 50. Observe this particular question. A coin is biased, specially prepared. Probability of getting head is 1 by 4. Probability of getting head 1 by 4 means probability of getting tail is equals to, probability of getting tail is equal to 3 by 4. That is a specially prepared coin, biased, specially prepared in such a way getting head is equal to 1 by 4 and getting a tail is automatically 3 by 4. If the coin is tossed 5 times, the probability of obtaining 2 heads and 3 tails with heads occurring in succession, that means he is asking this one, head, tail, tail. This probability we have to find out. Getting head probability is 1 by 4, again head probability is 1 by 4, next tail probability 3 by 4, 3 by 4 into 3 by 4. So that is the reason you will get the answer as 3 cube divided by 4 to the power of 5 is the answer for that. So observe this question. The probability that a teacher will give a surprise test during any class meeting is 3 by 5. The teacher will conduct the test is 3 by 5. The teacher won't conduct the test is equal to 2 by 5. If a student is absent on 2 days, then the probability that he will meet at least one test. I am finding probability he will not miss the test. He will not miss the test. I am finding the probability that he will not miss the test. For that, complement is he will miss at least one test. So he will not miss the test means what? Whenever he is absent that day, the teacher is not conducting the exam. That means first day he is absent, the teacher is not conducting. Second day absent, the teacher is not conducting exam. Whenever he is absent, the teacher is not conducting the exam. That means he is not missing the exam. That is 4 by 25. So the probability he will miss at least one test is equal to 1 minus 4 by 25, that is equals to 21 by 25.